feel that too. Welcome back to CBS Mornings. We're already talking. We're very excited. Got a special edition of Talk of the Table. We're joined by our friends at Drew Barrymore, host of the, what's the name of your show?
Oh, it's the Drew Barrymore Show.
Catchy. Yeah. I like co-host, I know, Ross Mathews. Took a long time to get that title. Yeah. We're back together to bring you some of the stories that we call Talk of the Table. And Drew, you're in pole position.
All right. Well, my Talk of the Table is about the key to happiness. According to Harvard researchers, the Harvard study of adult development has tracked the lives of hundreds of people for more than 80 years. They say it's one of the longest studies, and it's still counting. But to find out what really leads to a happy and fulfilling life, apparently it all boils down to one thing: good relationships. The study found the strength of a person's connections with others can predict the health of both their body and their brains as they go through life, because good relationship acts as stress relievers and something to live for, in my opinion. The researchers recommend people look after their social fitness or tend to their relationships just like they take care of their physical fitness. The current lead researchers wrote a book with more lessons from the study called The Good Life, and it's published by Simon & Schuster, which is an imprint of Paramount Global, which owns CBS. I can't wait for this book.
Don't we think this is true?
Yes.
Totally.
Very true. I don't need a study for this. I know that this is true.
Yeah, and whether it's because your partner or your best friend or whoever, those relationships you curate brings happiness.
Because I say, Rossi, we're all going to be trivia questions one day. What was the name of that black girl that did? What was the name of that singer? Is so-and-so still alive? But when you have good relationships and good family foundation, nothing, you're never a trivia question.
Well, you do need a reminder, actually, because people don't pick up the phone and make that call and stay connected to people that matter to them. So let this be a reminder.
You have to cultivate your garden.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ross,
all right, well, my talk at the table is the science behind shower thoughts. Have you ever wondered why you get your best ideas in the shower, you guys? Anyone?
I do.
Yeah, totally. Well, now researchers...
No.
No? Really? You're not one of those people who get the ideas there?
I've never wondered about it.
Oh, you've never wondered.
You said if you ever
But you know it happens.
Fair point,
Yes,
Gayle.
yes,
The effect is real.
It does happen, and
Yes.
it turns out it's scientific. Researchers use the term the shower effect to explain how completing a moderately engaging physical task, like taking a shower, can promote creativity because it allows your mind to wander. And the ideal moderate engaging activity is something physical that takes some of your attention, but not all of it, right? But it also can't be boring so that you don't want to do it. Researchers suggest that the shower effect can also happen like while taking a walk or whatever. I don't know. I'm a little too busy in the shower loofahing and doing a tour de force performance.
Yes.
I mean, I'm all of Destiny's Child in the shower.
But here's the key thing. You can't bring your phone in the shower, right?
That's it, too.
That
right?
is clutch.
So you
that
can't
is
be distracted.
Says who?
Oh, really? What, do you got a little Ziploc baggie in there?
I have to be careful I don't waste water because I do a lot of thinking in the shower.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, this study speaks to me.
Ross has left us with a great image, loofing and everything.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Destiny's Child.
Everybody picture it right now.
Yes, there you go. Thank you,
Sorry.
Ross.
Tony D?
All right, my talk on the table is some news out of AMC theaters. They are testing a new pricing policy that could affect all moviegoers eventually. This could be national. It's an idea to charge more or less for different tickets depending on where they are in the theater. So there's standard sightline, value sightline, and preferred sightline. Preferred is that fat section in the middle where everyone tries to sit. I don't
like
love
it.
this. I
don't like it, but I
gotta say.
understand it.
I do get it. They're like, look, you pay. This is how it works for Broadway. This is how it works for concerts. So we're no different.
That makes sense.
But that's different because it's live entertainment to me. Also, it's live entertainment. When you're in the movie, you're just all looking at the same screen. When you're sitting in a theater, it does matter where you sit sometimes, what's happening.
That's a good point. Yep.
Also, I don't think it's fair to charge us for something that we've never been charged for before. I always have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Like when the airlines started charging you for bags.
Oh, don't get me started on
I mean, so I'm opposed. What can we do about this outlet?
When I did E.T., I know, I'm like the old lady at the table right now. When I was in E.T., the tickets were $2.50 for a child and $4.50 for adults. And, you know, I just think that we have to look at the model of the concession stand and the movie prices so that families can go without stress and concern on their wallet. Not okay.
So what do you think, Drew, about charging depending on where you sit? You think that's okay?
Well, you made such a good argument about the live thing because there are things in the periphery,
Yes.
whereas a screen, you know,
Just sitting
I don't
right
know
there.
if this makes it more attainable for people. Good. I'd like to see the same model used on the concession stand.
Yeah,
They
but- or
definitely
just-
need to lower those costs.
I'm opposed.
Or just pop your popcorn at home. I'm a good boy. I follow the rules, but I'm a bad boy at the movie theater, right? I will pop my Jiffy Pop and bring it with me.
Really?
Oh,
a
yeah.
bag of popcorn? I can imagine like your own candy bar,
No,
but
put it-
popcorn is big.
Popcorn.
Just hide it in your man purse
kind
and
of
walk
bag you
inside.
bringing, Ross?
Just a cute little man. Don't judge my man purse.
No, but like
Got
how
a duffel
big is
bag
it?
of popcorn.
Big enough for a Jiffy.
But this is a question about how we move forward with movie theaters because I think they're so important and I love going with my
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
and it's a sacred place to be able to get lost in storytelling and see yourself and get, you know, it's a very important sacred place to me, but I don't think the model works compared to home viewing and what that costs. We've got to make it a more even balance.
They got to rethink it.
Right.
David, we're not going to lose the story. You're going to get your turn.
Here we go. My talk at the table is a revealing vacation selfie from Tom Brady. who's
Oh my gosh, I saw this.
and
Oh my gosh.
even more newly retired, so he says. So Brady says he's keeping a promise that he made last year to recreate shots
Good morning,
from his
everybody.
Brady brand underwear campaign if it got more than 40,000 likes. It did, and so we got this thirst trap photo, which, by the way, if you're going through for thirst traps, this is like an A+.
Well, I feel good. I feel
artfully
better
great
knowing
hand.
that he did it for a bet, though, David.
For a bet?
Yeah, that he wasn't
Okay,
just doing it.
Tony, the hand got me as
The
well.
artfully draped hand.
I was like, the hand place.
Are there outtakes?
That's something only a man thinks about,
Sorry.
you know? Because, I'm just saying, I didn't think of that when I looked at the picture.
I did.
Yeah.
I definitely did.
Pretty sure it ran through some minds.
Yeah.
Ross, thoughts?
It definitely did.
Well, I mean, he's a great quarterback. Turns out he's a great tight end as well. So much.
It's a large hand, I will say.
That up.
I like Ross's reaction when the picture came up. Ooh. Oh. My talk at the table is a New Yorker who thought that he was flying to Australia. Kingsley Burnett is his name. So he booked a trip to Sydney, Australia, trying to find the cheapest flight. Got on the plane and off he went. The only problem is this is what it looked like when the plane landed. Snow on the ground. So where did he arrive? He arrived in Sydney, Montana. He had booked a flight to Sydney, Montana, not Sydney, Australia. So Kingsley Burnett with his new friend, Carol Castellano, who works for American Airlines in Montana. She said, I'll help you out. He said, the thing was the airport codes. One says SYD,
Right.
the other says SDY. So SYD is Australia, SDY is Montana. He said, I did think it was a pretty good deal. He was taking off from LaGuardia. That also should have been a clue. He says, but in Australia, they said this is the second time that this has happened. But Sydney handled it well. He said Montana didn't have kangaroos. It had Carol. So that was good enough for me. And
feel like
he's
we need to-
rescheduled his trip to Australia in June.
Okay,
Oh, he's
good. I
going.
was like,
Very
we
good.
need closure.
Yes, he's
Women love
going.
closure. I feel like we need to get him to Australia. Do you remember the days where you would get on the wrong flight and then realize it at the last minute and run off the plane? I feel like that never happens anymore.
And your
Was that
family-
just me?
and your
Yes, Drew.
Never happened. No, I
Raise your
gosh.
hand if that's happened to you.
No.
No.
I'm always flying, and I feel like in the 80s and 90s, you would just get on the wrong flight, and they'd be like, all right, well,
Drew, were you in the appropriate state when you got on the plane? Because most
state of mind or geographically speaking.
Drew Barrymore, Ross Mathews, thank you both.
Yeah, that was great.
Thank you.